walk the listeners through what you were going through with all of that, because as a fine student and great athlete, you probably had a lot of opportunity to go wherever the heck you wanted to, pretty much.
It was really hard for me going into my senior year to really decide what I wanted to do. I was in contact with a couple smaller division schools to possibly pursue a football career at the second level. It really wasn't until after my senior year of football that I realized that the direction that I wanted to go into was more focused on setting up myself to be very successful in the future career-wise, rather than pursuing the athletic route. So I really just weighed my options on where I felt like I would fit best in the colleges around Michigan. And when I was able to come to Michigan State and go on a visit and visit with one of my very close family friends who was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was able to give me a tour, and he was also a finance major. He really sold me on going to Michigan State, which was very cool to have somebody that was the same major as me and someone that I've been very close with my entire life kind of sell me on Michigan State, because he really did. He made it very clear that Michigan State was the place for me, and a place where I could really set myself up to have a very successful career. So it wasn't an easy decision. Obviously, giving up a sport that I had played my entire life was not easy in any sense of the imagination, but really having a very forward looking mindset, I definitely found that Michigan State was the best spot for me.
This is the key, everybody. When you're looking for a program for a college, a university, look at their programs, see what they are offering. Is it something that you want to participate in? So, Carson, let me ask you this. You chose finance, you stuck with finance, you haven't changed your major, I don't think, have you?
I've not.
You're a 4 point, so why would you? I mean, why do you think, just in a general idea, why do you think students change majors so much and wind up spending so much extra money?
Well, it's hard because we are so young that we really don't know what we want to do. For example, one of my roommates has changed his major a few times, but he's finally found the major that he loves, and doing something that he loves, he'll be able to do that for the rest of his life. Because that's really the best way to figure out what you want to do, it is find something that you love doing. So people that are constantly changing their majors, they're gonna get here, say they're a supply chain major, and they're like, wow, I don't like this at all. It's hard for them to stay in that major then, because if you don't like what you're doing, it's hard to see yourself do that for the rest of your life. So the constantly changing of majors is because we're also young. We don't really know what we want to do. And I got lucky in a sense picking finance, because through my classes, I found that this is something that I really love to do. But say if I pick something else like marketing, not that I couldn't go into career in marketing, I just don't know if I'd find the material and stuff as interesting as I do the stuff in finance. So it's really about finding your niche and what you love to do, because if you don't do that, it's kind of hard to really enjoy what you're doing.
So, we're talking about college, we're talking about tips, tricks, journey into higher ed. You're picking the finance thing. Let's talk about teamwork, and because you are an athlete, and talk about Faith and her being an athlete, because you have had a long term girlfriend, and I've knowing you students, I've noticed that you students that I've known at the gym who have long term relationships, maybe long distance, most of you are long distance, are very stable, very set in your ways, and very good students. So talk about that whole thing for you. I mean, how much has that affected you and your relationship with your girlfriend?
Us being long distance has been kind of a thing that we've had to deal with. We started dating in high school, and our high schools were 20 minutes away. So we were seeing each other about 2 to 3 times a week, which was cool. But since we've gotten to college, 3 years now in college in a relationship, it's been quite interesting trying to navigate which weekends I can see her, which weekends I can't see her. But it's really that time in between that I've really seen our relationship grow, because being long distance, communication is key, and that's how I believe some long-term distance relationships fail, is the inability to communicate. And Faith and I have done our best to master communications. Everything that we do throughout the day, we communicate to each other, and at the end of the day, we'll always call just to be able to have that time that is not spent together in person, and catch up. And those calls at night are everything to us. Just being able to talk to each other at the end of the day and fill each other in on everything that's happened is very valuable. But it's not easy because when you go so long without seeing your significant other, it can add tension to the relationship, and it's not easy to have fights long distance, and that's one thing that sucks. But I also appreciate because being able to talk our problems on the phone with words is so much better than being in person, because we talk through our fights. If we have a disagreement or anything, we're able to talk through that, and I think that really strengthens our relationship and is able to, have us not have those problems in the future. So,
Talk about that. Translate into success. Business is about competitive success and winning. Talk about that, please.
I mean, everybody hates to lose. I mean, if you like to lose, there's something wrong with you. So, just having the mindset that if you're giving your best, nothing can go wrong because no one who ever gave their best can be disappointed. Because if you give it your all, you're gonna get the reward you want. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get those rewards, but as long as you're giving maximum effort, you're gonna get maximum return. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I've taken from my athletic experience and push that into real life because it is valuable to give your all at all times. More on the teamwork side, it's very, very valuable in my opinion that I was part of teams in my athletic career because that's transitioned so much into not only my work with groups in college, but it's gonna transition into working with groups in my professional career because I
Why I
know what
asked
it's
the
like
question.
to have to rely on other people. I know
I
what
know
it's like to take charge. So
we have
being
talked
able to
about
do that,
he and I have talked Carson and I have talked about this when we're on the rowers when he comes up when we do our little rowing session, talking about this team thing, the competitive thing. It's like, you gotta yeah.
so
Let me ask you this there,
lit-
college guy. You're such a good student. She's such a good student. You guys been managing this thing. How do you manage your academic load when you have these trips? I mean, you're going to see her, and so that eats up a lot of your time. Do you study together? What are some of the strategies that you come up with?
yeah, being able to study together with Faith is awesome because she has a lot on her plate. She has a dual major with communications and law and politics, so she always has a lot on her plate. So almost every weekend we schedule a time where we can actually do work together. Recently, we went to a cool place in Adrian where her college is. That was like a protein shake bar. Like they made like fitness drinks, and we were able to sit in there for about 3 hours and get some homework done. So we always want to put our education first because that's what it's all about.
How do you talk about the importance, how you strategize, and then we'll talk about where you're going to be working this summer?
Yeah, so to me, internships are one of the most valuable parts about your college experience because you're going to learn so many things in the classroom, and then you're going to get an internship, and everything you learned in the classroom is not going to be what you're doing in your internship. The internships are a perfect way to not only learn how to work in a corporate setting, but actually understand what you're going to be doing with the rest of your career. So, for example, this past summer, I interned for Frankenmuth Insurance. It was a 12-week internship where I worked 6 weeks claims, 6 weeks underwriting, and obviously now I'm transitioning into the corporate treasury role. But being able to do an insurance internship was very valuable because I was able to learn how to work in a corporate setting and I was able to help people, which is something that I love to do. Obviously, working in insurance, people are calling me in times of their life where they've never really experienced a car accident or something like that. So being able to help them through that was awesome, as well as build a network and relate with colleagues. And having an internship does so much for you that you can't learn in a classroom.
What's your feel?
So I can talk on both the football front and the basketball front because obviously that's where you hear the most talk. NIL is awesome. College athletes deserve to be paid. Everybody knows that. I mean, they deserve to be paid. They're doing everything that professional athletes are doing. They're having practice every day. They're going out there and playing games the same way that professional athletes are. So the fact that they're able to be paid now after years and years and years of them not being able to be paid is awesome. The only thing that sucks about the NIL and the new transfer portal is that the loyalty in college athletics is gone. For example, the college basketball season just ended not that long ago. And the first day the portal was open, 20% of all college basketball players were in the portal.
Wow.
20% of all college basketball players were in the portal. That's crazy. There's no loyalty. There's no developing your players. The guy that you brought in as a freshman that didn't play as a freshman, played a little bit as a sophomore, and then breaks out as a junior, that doesn't happen anymore. And that's the part of the game that's that sucks, that is gone. And it really affects coaches. I mean, as you can see, like for Duke, Coach K's gone. And he just didn't want to deal with it. So I give a lot of props to Coach Izzo and sticking through it, because everybody was down on Michigan State basketball going into last year because they didn't add many players in the portal. But what Tom Izzo has done his entire coaching career is develop players and got them ready to succeed. And we won the Big Ten by 3 games this year. So that aspect of developing players, not only on basketball, but football as well, is gone. For example, spring games are becoming extinct because coaches don't want to let other teams see the players that are lower down on their roster.
But what's the takeaway from all the things because we covered so much ground today, from your girlfriend to school to the Bears to NIL. What's your takeaway for the journey into higher ed?
Man, your parents get you there, and the relationship that you make along the way make the process even better. I mean, having faith in my journey has been the most valuable thing. We're young, but we've got each other figured out. We have something great. So I love Faith, and I hope she listens to the show, because
You will.
she'll like what we're talking about. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
just the relationships that you make in life are everything, in my opinion. And the relationship that we've made together, I appreciate you so much, and I'm super glad to be on the show today.
That young man, just thinking about these young people makes me want to just cry. They're so they're so freaking awesome. I love them so much. To be a tiny, tiny part of a young person's life to help them get ahead is what it's all about. So let's get off our asses and let's do something about it. Let's help our young people. And with that, I want to say thank you to Carson. Thank you to everybody. The Journey into Higher Ed. Love doing these shows. A go getter. Lastly, I want to say nice job to Stephen Jody. You guys did a great job. Love your son so much. He's awesome. All right. Till next time. This is Tom Matt Show, and I'm Papa Tom. Peace out. Love y'all.